Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Libra energy. And like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Libra energy, what some people could be doing in their life because of having hope and faith and belief in their dreams, having healed, having grown, having matured, moving forward in life differently. And the bottom row is kind of a more worldly, shadowy energy. It can just be us struggling with our fear and our insecurity. But there's always going to be some people in the world who have learned some life lessons that other people haven't learned. They've kind of grown and matured themselves, overcome some self limiting beliefs, and they are moving forward in high vibe Libra energy. And some people haven't learned some of those lessons and haven't healed, and they might be more driven and motivated by the world, like indulging themselves or making their life more about money and materialism or status or image. And some people are just shadowy and, they think something's just and fair. They think something's just and fair even when it's not just and fair. It just all has to do, Libra energies, air sign energy of the mind, it has to do with just what our truth is. And we have a dualistic nature and we live in a dualistic world and we have free will. Some people are motivated and inspired by love and to believe in their dreams and about treating other people the way they like to be treated, and other people don't. Some people don't want to do love because you can get hurt doing love. So they might decide that the just and fair thing is to not do love, and they think they won't get hurt. So let's go see. And also, we all tap into Virgo energy. So if you're someone listening to the story that you're someone who harnesses high vibe Libra energy, you'd probably want to hang out with some people who harness high vibe Libra energy. So the reason for the reading is these cards, and they could also be the reason why the reading came out. The reason for the top rose reading is the Thief card. And then we have the Child, Thoughts, Main Female, and Despair. We could have all stolen from ourselves. That's what the Thief card can talk about. We could have all, I view the Thoughts card there since it's a masculine energy. I view it as the King of Swords. But we can all be in our ego and think we know best. We all take action in masculine energy because we can all present ourselves any way we want to in the world. But what is the truth of who we are internally, emotionally? And that can be represented by the feminine figures. So we've all had to grow up in life, and we've all, throughout a lot of our life, thought we knew what we wanted, we knew what was best, nobody had to tell us anything. And part of our worldly nature is our more immature nature. And a lot of times, we want what we want when we want it. We think it's just and fair to go get those things that we want. We're sure those things are going to make us happy. We're pretty bright and smart, and we think, that's just and fair. But we have lessons to learn in life. We have growing up to do. And as we go through these life experiences and we get in relationships with other people, it helps us get clear about what our truth is. We can all go live our life a certain way for a period of time, and then we realize that, I need to grow up, I need to mature myself. I've been kind of acting maybe in an immature, selfish way, and I need to emotionally grow up and mature myself because maybe some of the things I've been doing, didn't turn out the way I thought they were going to turn out. And part of learning all these life lessons is, again, to help us get clear about our truth. Do we love ourselves? Are we willing to work through our past pain and heartbreak and our fears and our insecurities to not keep kind of indulging our more immature nature? Do we love ourselves to, forgive ourselves for the mistakes we've made? We're all going to make mistakes in life because life's about learning lessons in life. And we've all dealt with people who we thought would maybe be just and fair and loving and nurturing, maybe when we were children growing up, and maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't as, they might present themselves as a very just and fair person, but Did they live more from their mind than their heart, and it kind of blocked them from connecting in with us emotionally and maybe be more loving and nurturing and supportive? And when we deal with other fallible human beings who have lessons of their own to learn, and their own pain and heartbreak and their own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, it can keep us trapped in negative energy and repeating negative patterns. I kind of think that we'll be drawn and attracted to people who might remind us of some people in our life that we wished would have loved us, and loved us the way we wanted them to love us, like being more just and fair, acting with character and integrity. And we want to win. We want that wound to heal. So if we haven't healed from that wound and done that work within ourselves, I think we'll be drawn and attracted to people because subconsciously they could remind us of people. And, we don't even know it. We don't even know why we're drawn and attracted to them. And the whole reason why we can be drawn and attracted to certain people is because there are lessons to be learned from them. Is this my truth? Do I still want to be in relationships with people who act this certain way that might remind me of people from my past? Am I trying to win? Am I trying to make them love me? Am I bound and determined to get someone who might be in shadowy energy, bossy, controlling, immature, prideful, egotistical, selfish, self-centered, whatever, whatever shadowy trait and characteristic they have? Did I grow up with people who are like that? Am I still trying to get people like that to validate my worth and value? And I want the story to be that I win. This time they love me. Don't they see I'm sad? Aren't they going to be a loving person to me? But part of learning lessons in life is that when we haven't healed that wound and we go look to other people in the world to kind of resolve that conflict with, it's like us repeating an old pattern of relationship, but it's like a different person than maybe the person that originally caused that pain and heartbreak. But this time we want to win. And a lot of times the people that we felt didn't love us the way we wish they would have when we were young, they were our siblings or our parents, and we couldn't be in a romantic relationship with them. And then it's kind of thinking when we get older and we meet people who are like that, we can be in a romantic relationship. And we think for sure, maybe this time we're going to win, It's a different type of relationship. I'm sure this time they'll love me. And the whole thing is, when we haven't done the work within ourselves to heal, we will be drawn and attracted to those people to try to get us to see the truth. You're attracted to people who have some of these shadowy traits and characteristics. Why? Are we willing to see the truth? I grew up with some people who might have treated me like that. And, I guess I haven't healed. And so then, in high vibe energy, it's like, we're not a child anymore. And we are supposed to, I believe, learn to become our own best mother, father, coach voice in our own head. Because we're not a child anymore. We're not looking for a new mom or a new dad out in the world as an adult. And we need to learn to stand up for ourselves and stand up for our own emotionally loving, nurturing nature against some other people in the world who still might be quite immature, who try to take advantage of people who are loving and nurturing and supportive. They could be some people that we could go out into the world with, that we could get in relationships with. They could be people who've already decided, I'm not doing love. I also had experiences like that, and I've decided I'm not doing love anymore. I can get hurt. Now I look, and they could think that their loving nature is something to be cast aside because all it can do is get them hurt. But then there's someone who kind of goes to try to take advantage of other people who are loving. If there's gullible people out there in the world, like I used to be gullible, well, I'm going to go take advantage of them, and I'm going to try to get them to love me and be in a relationship with me and make it all about me because they're silly and naive and gullible. And I've already learned that lesson, so I'm not going to be loving and vulnerable, but I want to be in a relationship with people who are loving and nurturing and supportive. And then you can get in relationships with people like that, and they harness their King of Swords energy in a shadowy way. I want to go find people who are gullible and naive and haven't learned these hard lessons in life. They need to learn these lessons. And if they don't know those lessons, well then, by golly, I'm going to be the one to take advantage of them. The only problem is some of those shadowy people get in relationships with people who, yes, they might be naive, they might be gullible, they have some lessons to learn about shadowy people in the world, but those people do have hope and faith and belief and love. And as they move forward in these relationships, they could try to be very loving and encouraging to the people they're in relationships with to try to get them to heal from some of their pain and heartbreak and fears and insecurities, to have that more hopeful, believing nature. And, if, you're working together with someone and they're willing to do that work with you, then the relationship can move forward because people have seen how, if they act in shadowy ways that are unloving, unkind, unjust, unfair, and if they don't see the truth, how I'm acting kind of immature, like I want to be indulged in a relationship, I'm probably going to have some people who are going to leave a relationship and they're not going to let me kind of keep taking from them. But if both people in the relationship aren't willing to do that work, their truth of what they're motivated and inspired by is different. One wants to overcome their fears and their insecurities and their self-limiting beliefs to grow to their full potential. And, there comes a point in time in their life where they realize, I've got to deal with my own past pain and heartbreak and my own self-limiting beliefs. And I've got to see the truth that I've got to love myself. And I've got to heal, or I'm going to keep taking action out of fear and insecurity and codependency. And I'm just going to keep repeating this pattern over and over and over, where I probably get in relationships with people who came into my life trying to get me to see the truth. That they're not loving, that they're not just and fair, that they have their own unresolved issues to deal with. And they might be happy to stay in a relationship with me, but they maybe they're not motivated and inspired to deal with their issues, because the truth sets us free. And some people don't plan to do that, but they want to be in relationships with people who are loving and nurturing and creative. Can't I just move forward with you and I don't ever have to deal with those things? Won't you indulge me like a parent would indulge a child, where I don't have to grow up? So they are kind of looking for a new mother or new father in their life, where they don't have to grow up and mature themselves. Well, most people didn't have a dream of being in a relationship with a partner who seems like their child and who might be kind of bratty on top of it. Well, I think I should be able to go do whatever I want to do, and I think I should be able to be immature or bossy or controlling, and if I say something's just unfair, it's just unfair. And it's like, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone like that. You need to grow up. And if I have been loving and nurturing and supportive, and you still don't want to see the truth that you might have some issues you need to deal with, then eventually some people are going to listen to their intuition. And it's like, my dreams aren't going to come into reality. This is stealing from being in the just and fair and balanced and loving relationships I deserve to be in. If I'm treating people with love and respect, and I'm not being petty and envious and jealous and controlling and in negative energy, I deserve to be in relationships with people who have also learned not to act in their shadowy nature. And because some people were growing and maturing and healing, some of the other people were thinking, yeah, I don't want to do that. Maybe there's someone else I could go get in a relationship with. someone else who might be gullible, who doesn't know the truth of who I am. Maybe someone else who hasn't learned some lessons in life and still is gullible and naive, and I can indulge myself in a relationship with them. They're going to think a dream's going to come into reality, but that dream is never going to come into reality with me. I'm just here to indulge myself in it for as long as I can until you see the truth and you deal with the fact that, you know, and part of our coming into contact with those people, it looks like in this story, is just for us to learn and quit being so gullible and naive. It's hard to believe if you're someone who is motivated and inspired by love and you get in a relationship with people that you think everybody's motivated and inspired by love. But for some people, that's the biggest thing they fear: love. If I don't do love, they think they won't get hurt. I think they're hurting themselves every day, but if they think the biggest thing that is a danger is love, because if they do love, what if those people leave? What if it doesn't work out? And they must be really afraid that they wouldn't be able to pick themselves back up again to keep moving forward in life. Like, it would just be devastating. And part of that could be because they haven't learned to love themselves, and they maybe haven't grown and matured themselves emotionally. Maybe they've been people that have been living from their mind, just kind of mentally strategizing in relationships how to create a certain image of who they are, so people view them as more mature or stable than they are, and maybe they're really not. The thief card can be people who have been building their life not on love, not putting in work and effort to maintain balance within themselves. They could be people who think it's maybe just and fair for them to be indulged emotionally in a relationship. People can think any screwy things they want to think, and some people think I don't have to grow up and mature myself. Maybe there's people that will, some people could just think people are supposed to indulge me in the world. Maybe they've been indulged a lot in their life. Maybe people haven't required them to grow up and mature themselves emotionally. So they keep thinking that's the way the world works. And until they go through some more difficult life experiences where, if you keep trying to present yourself as being more emotionally mature and just and fair and balanced than you are, eventually people are going to figure it out. And even though they could be sad because they could love these people, they're not going to keep staying in a relationship with them. They're going to stand up for themselves and say, you're being immature. You seem to think it's more all about you. And the truth is, I want to be in relationships with people who are more emotionally mature, who dealt with their past pain and heartbreak, who don't act in these immature ways, or self-centered ways, or prideful, egotistical ways, or bossy and controlling ways, or just people who have decided that the way for them to maintain balance in their life is to be emotionally defensive to love. That's the ticket. Well, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who wants to be emotionally detached. I want to be in a relationship with someone who wants to be in a deep, meaningful relationship, who's open to giving and receiving love. And that doesn't appear to be you. So, in summary, we've done things in our life where we stole from ourselves because we could have done things that were hurtful and unkind to other people. We've probably all pushed some loving people away in our life because we thought we knew best. Sometimes as an adult, we push away loving people. We could be a loving person, but we're used to kind of being a caregiver to other people. I'm used to dealing with people who are more immature. And so I could have pushed away loving people because I'm used to being in relationship with people who maybe aren't very loving. And then we're repeating that past pattern over and over. And we're really stealing from ourselves because we're not in a just and fair relationship. But part of the reason why we might not be in a just and fair relationship is because we haven't seen that we had some healing to do. Why, Why would we keep like chasing after being in relationships with people who are kind of hurtful, unkind, bossy, controlling, whatever? Yes, it's a pattern. We could be used to dealing with people like that, and we all like to be in our comfort zone. And if we're not used to being in relationships with people who are more treat us the way we treat them, it's like, this is weird. I'm not used to this. Well, why aren't we used to that? And why would we push loving people away? Probably because we have some unresolved issues of our own. So we have to forgive ourselves how we have rejected loving people, how when we were more immature and prideful, egotistical, self centered, caught up in our addictions or whatever, we could have hurt some loving people in our life. And it's about offering ourselves love and forgiveness and compassion for the fact that we are a fallible human being who does have to learn these lessons and grow up and mature ourselves. And when we realize how we have needed to grow up and mature ourselves and we've made mistakes, that kind of opens the door for us to be able to be more forgiving to other people in our life who maybe didn't overcome some of the things that we eventually overcame in our life, to free ourselves from our more defensive, shadowy ways of being and learning to stand up for ourselves and love ourselves and deal with our own regrets of the past. And we could have known some people in our life that didn't make it that far, whatever they could have struggled with. It's kind of like the things in our shadowy nature that manipulate us: fear, insecurity, pride, ego, immaturity, past pain, heartbreak, self-limiting beliefs. Everybody to different degrees have freed themselves from some of those things, and some people haven't. And we realize, it's difficult. This game of life isn't easy. So we accept the truth that some people haven't freed themselves and they're still kind of being manipulated because they could have some inner wounds that they haven't healed from. And until they decide to do that work within themselves, they're going to keep repeating some past patterns of ways of being in relationship and the type of relationships that they get in. And until they see the truth of how those things rob from them and that they could be rejecting loving, encouraging, supportive people in their life. And until they see the truth of it and are willing to speak their truth and take action in their life to say, I'm not aligning with that anymore. I am going to heal from that so that I don't push away loving people anymore. I deserve to love myself and to heal. And I can't make, maybe some of the people who could have hurt me or rejected me in my life, I can't change them. The only person I can change is me. And when we do that work to heal ourselves, that does help heal that wound. And then we're no longer attracted to certain people that have certain traits and characteristics. We just see it for what it is. Oh, you're kind of defensive. Oh, you're kind of prideful. Oh, your money's more important to you. You're kind of bossy and controlling. And we just let people acknowledge that people have their own free will and the things that manipulate them. And then maybe other people in their life who manipulate them. And until they free themselves from that, we free ourselves. And, sometimes we have people in our life that we wish would free themselves from some things, but, just like we were a little stubborn growing up in life and we had to learn life things the hard way, other people got to learn things in life sometimes the hard way. And so I think high vibe people have that hopeful, believing nature now. They're standing up for themselves and speaking their truth, protecting their more emotionally nurturing, loving nature, because they don't want to be in relationships. They don't want people in their future who haven't dealt with their past pain and heartbreak. And there could still be a part of us that would like to go back to those old ways of being, or like to be the nurturing, supportive person to some people in our life that we could have wished a relationship worked out. But truth and justice and fairness of our own Libra energy is stopping us from doing that. Relationships have to be just and fair. People have to grow up and mature themselves and treat you the way you're treating them. And if they haven't, then they got some lessons to learn in life. And they're going to have to go learn those lessons with some other people. Because if they're going to be in your future, they have to speak their truth. And they have to cut the things out of their life that they need to cut out. And they need to emotionally grow up and mature themselves and deal with their past pain and heartbreak. Because otherwise, they're just going to be trying to, it's kind of like sucking off your energy, you know? And it's like, no, you're going to have to go find someone else to maybe be. I wish you peace. I wish you love. I can offer you some resources that could help you, but I'm not going to be like in a romantic relationship or spending a lot of time and investing a lot of time, energy, and effort into you. I've already spoken my truth, and apparently you might still want to be immature and indulging yourself in whatever you want to indulge yourself in. So I wish you peace, and I'm moving on. And even though I might be sad, I'm not going to let people who are in shadowy energy stop me from believing in myself and believing in my dreams. The reason for the bottom rose reading is the Six of Pentacles, which can, well, it's called unexpected income, but it reminds me of the Six of Pentacles in tarot, which can be people who like to be in a more transactional relationship. Well, how about I give you this and then you give me that? And it's like, how about there's equal give and take and equal respect for what you have that you might give me, and you might view that as valuable, that what I have is equally as valuable. And some people, I view the Six of Pentacles as Taurus energy. Some people have a more worldly view of life. Some people might have been willing to exchange aligning with their loving nature and being in relationships with loving people because they were tempted by their more immature nature, because they got some lessons to learn. And they could have been tempted to want to indulge themselves in the world, in their ego. If there's someone else who I think will exchange time, energy, effort, and hugs and kisses with me, and you want me to grow up and mature myself or speak my truth or be more just and fair, I'll just go find someone else to go get in a relationship with that will exchange time, energy, effort, and hugs and kisses with me. Or maybe it's money. And maybe you didn't know that the truth of someone's philosophy of life is that it's kind of really more about them. Their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego, their status, their image. And if there was someone else who they thought would indulge them more in their worldly nature, or if that person had more money or status or image, well, I'll exchange this foundation to go get in that relationship. So what's going on in the shadowy Libra energy? Concern, imprisonment, message of concern, occupation. Sometimes people who are in shadowy energy, they know that the people that are in their life want them to be maybe more open, more authentic, more just and fair, more to heal, to deal with some of their issues. And sometimes they think, I know what they want, and I know that they love me, but I might not want to be more vulnerable. I might not want to be more authentic. In order to do that, I'd have to deal with these fears or insecurities that I have, or this immaturity, or this self-centered way of being that I have. I'd have to exchange my philosophy of life, of how I view life and how I view relationships. And, you know, instead of doing that, I have an idea. I'm going to turn my back on them. I bet if I turn my back on them, I bet they'll be sad. I bet they'll be really concerned. I bet they'll maybe be in a mental prison about why I'm not doing equal give and take in a relationship with them anymore. Why aren't I talking to them? Why am I being emotionally cold and detach. Why am I doing these hurtful things? And they do it as a manipulation tactic, because you have the free will choice in a relationship to be open and honest and just and fair, or you can try to manipulate people to get them to do what you want. I bet because they love me, I bet they won't love and believe in themselves and overcome their own fears and insecurities to like detach from me. I bet they'll come back and want to exchange time, energy, effort, and hugs and kisses with me again. And they'll stay imprisoned with me, even though they're concerned about some things in this situation. But I bet they'll keep wanting to put in work and effort into this relationship, because it is kind of human nature, I think, when you have a job or a friendship or a romantic relationship, that we'd like those ones to work. And so we can sometimes keep putting in a lot of work and effort to make those relationships work, even though our intuition could be telling us this is not our truth. These people are being immature. These people are being manipulative. These people are being self-centered, Some of those people could have been hoping that you would have your own things that imprison and enslave you. Will I be able to find a different relationship if I leave this relationship? Will I have the status or the security or the whatever if I go? Will I find someone else to be friends with? Will I get a new job? If it's a job. And they hope that the people that they're in relationship with won't free themselves. But for some of those people who tried that tactic, some of the people who did try that tactic in the past, and some of the people right now trying that tactic in a relationship, there comes a time when people are like, oh my gosh, I can put in as much work and effort to be loving and encouraging, but until those people make the free will choice to free themselves, I'm just going to be imprisoned by all the things that imprison them. I'm like enslaved with them, and those aren't even my problems. Or those people that they could have in their life that manipulate and control them. Why should I be imprisoned and sentenced for something that's not my consequences of my actions in a way? And some of the people are going to say, I'm done. I am going to let go of this job, this friendship, this romantic relationship, because I do have that hopeful, believing nature, and I have done this work while I've maybe been just in life or in this relationship to trying to be open and authentic and just and fair and nurturing and supportive. And I've done the work to heal from my past pain and heartbreak and my self-limiting beliefs, so I don't act out in these shadowy ways like some of these other people are doing. We have the free will choice as we grow and mature ourselves to either take action in truth and love and justice and fairness, or because we haven't learned some lessons, we might take some impulsive, reckless, hurtful, unkind, defensive, immature action in a relationship. And if we're in relationships with people who what they're motivated and inspired by is different than what we're motivated and inspired by, it's kind of like we operate from different philosophies. Some people don't see how, either how they could view themselves or how they could view the world or how they could view relationships or how their own mind or fear or something really manipulates them and steals from them. And other people have learned how those ways of being within themselves try to steal from them. High vibe energy is about wanting to be free. I want to be free to be my authentic self in the world from a place of love. I want to love myself. I want to offer other people love, for them to believe in themselves. I want to be in just and fair relationships. And some other people are just kind of looking maybe for someone to work with them, might look good for their status or their image, but it is more of maybe a more superficial, shallow relationship, because I view the despair card being like the Five of Cups as Scorpio energy. People in high vibe energy want to go on the roller coaster of life. Bring it on, God. I'm ready for the ride. And I know everything I invest in won't work out the way I thought. I know there'll be highs, there'll be lows, but that's part of the journey of life. And I want to experience it all. And high vibe Scorpio is I want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. I want to be able to let my more authentic, vulnerable nature out to play. I want to be in relationships with people who are just and fair and emotionally nurturing and loving, who I can be authentically myself with. And they won't try to take advantage of me or abuse that. That they will be just and fair. They will act with character and integrity. They will be someone who is nurturing and supportive of me. Just like I want to be that way with other people, so they feel free to be authentic and vulnerable and loving with me. And some people, for some reason, maybe never or a long time ago, decided, no, that can only like hurt me. I'm not doing that. I'm going to make my life about getting in relationships, trying to find other people who I might either be able to trap in a job or a friendship or a romantic relationship with me. Once I get them in it, then I think they might be sad, but that's kind of what shadowy energy is about. I don't really care if you're sad. It's really all about me. I want, if I get you in a relationship, even if I lie, presenting myself as harnessing higher, being more mature or more just and fair or whatever than I am, and if later you find out the truth and you're sad, oh well, I guess if you're willing to get out of your pride and ego about the fact that, to get out of it and not keep exchanging time, energy, effort, hugs, and kisses with me, then you can. But they know they've never stood up for themselves and spoke their truth. All the things and people in their life and the world in general that manipulates them, they keep letting all those things and people in the world manipulate them. They make their life about what they wear and what they drive and how much money they have. That is the definition of their worth and value. They've conformed to the world. I no longer believe in my dreams. I no longer listen to my intuition. I gave up on love. I've made my life about being in relationships with people because I want the perks of being in a relationship. I just don't want to do love. If I get someone else in a relationship with me and they find out the truth, I'm hoping in their pride and ego and the status or the image that we have that they won't get out of it either. And I don't really care if they're sad because it works for me. And I guess they're in the same boat I am. And whatever imprisons them, imprisons them. And they might not want to see the truth that there's someone who tries to imprison people by lying. Some of these people know when they get in a relationship, they're not in it because of love. It'd be good for their status or their image. They want to look like they have justice in the world, that they have gotten the things that they deserve in the world. And it's really, shadowy energy, again, can be living more from your mind than your heart. It's like playing this chess game and the other people are just pawns that you play with to get what you want. Isn't it all about trying to manipulate people to have a certain status and image? And that's what they could think. And they could think that's how other people live life. Maybe they grew up in a household with people who are like that, where other people trap people in relationships and other people willingly stayed because of the status or the image or the money or materialism, and because of ego and image, they weren't willing to get out of it, and they were willing to be stolen their dreams from. And some people could have thought, boy, if somebody's going to steal someone's dreams, it's going to be me stealing from someone else. I certainly don't want someone to steal from me. Let's ask a few questions here. Some people are just starting to realize it. Some people could have been this hopeful, kind of believing person. One relationship could have ended. Then they saw someone else who seemed to maybe have this pure, innocent nature. They thought, wow, maybe this is someone I can move forward with. But they didn't realize that the person they were dealing with is really someone. I kind of look at the concern card as, like an 8 or 9 of swords, and the imprisonment card is kind of like an 8 or 9 of swords, or a 7 of swords. People who are worried if their dream's going to come into reality, maybe if they're going to have someone to exchange resources with or to be in a relationship with. And so people can present themselves as being pure as the driven snow. I wouldn't hurt a fly. And some other people who could have been loving could have thought, oh my gosh, maybe this is someone that I could have my dreams come into reality with. But really, the person they were in a relationship with was eyeing them too, as like, oh, you're one of those gullible, loving people, aren't you? I wonder if I could get in a relationship with you. I'll try to present myself as being like you, like I'm a hopeful, believing person too. And then we can get in the relationship, and you don't know that my truth is different than your truth, and I'm really mentally strategizing this and manipulating you. You're maybe being truthful and honest and just and fair and having hope and faith and belief. And then as time goes by, the loving people eventually figure out that, wait a minute, seems like I'm the one putting in a lot of the work and effort to make this relationship like work and be just and fair and balanced and loving and encouraging and supportive. And am I getting that back, or does the person I'm in a relationship with seem to be unwilling to freely give of themselves emotionally? They might give me things of the world, but do they love me? Are they in this relationship because of love, or is it because it works for them for some other reason? Is that why they want to keep staying in the relationship? Are they putting in work and effort? If I've already noticed there's some things that seem to kind of keep them from doing equal give and take and be more loving or nurturing and supportive in the relationship, are they putting any work to free themselves? And some people are just realizing, oh my gosh, I have maybe been staying in something and defending something and putting a lot of work and effort into something, and I wasn't seeing the truth. Some people weren't even seeing the truth about themselves. We can all have gotten in relationships. We can have hope and faith and belief and love, but we could have gotten in a relationship because we were sad about another relationship. And then, it's kind of maybe not getting in the relationship for the best of intentions. We could have gotten in a relationship because we got a lot of fears and insecurities, and we're kind of using a relationship to be our drug of choice to make us feel better. And it's kind of using someone to make us feel better or make us feel more stable instead of getting in a relationship because we love someone. Let's ask, what's this concern card down here about? The 6 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. Well, people who are in shadowy energy, it's hard for them to move to the next phase of life because they haven't learned the lessons that they were meant to learn from the current phase of life. And it's kind of like taking a math class. It's hard to go from 9th grade to 10th grade if you didn't learn the math in 9th grade. You can only fake it so long, And so some people in shadowy energy are concerned if the person that they might currently be in a relationship with or wanting to get in a relationship with, are they going to repeat this past pattern with me? Because there's a certain way that I view life and I view relationships, and that's how I want to live my life. And it could be the Six of Cups, like this kind of 5 of Cups despair card, is Scorpio energy. And some people do like to keep their emotions buried beneath the surface, and they do like to be more emotionally shallow and superficial. Why? Because of the Ten of Pentacles. They could be more ego driven, image driven, materialistically driven instead of love driven. But they want to be in relationships, and they might want people who have money to give them money. You know, and so they're just wondering, would this person, do I think this person would stay in a relationship with me if I were to maybe like get married to them or get in a relationship with them? Is this person kind of, is that how they live their life? Do they make their life more about money and materialism and status and image? Because if they want to do love, I've already been in a relationship with people who want to do love, and I don't want to do that. People who want me to grow and mature and heal and face my fears and step out of my comfort zone and become all I can be. I'm happy doing life like this, and this is how I want to live my life. Would they be willing to do that? What's the imprisonment card about? The Leo, because of the Six of Wands, 2 Leo cards. Some people are very much imprisoned by their ego and their image and all that stuff, and that could be the most important thing to them. I want to work together with people in a relationship where there's a lot of stability and security and abundance, because I'm all about my image and my status and how people view me and how people perceive me. Because if people haven't learned to love themselves and free themselves from their more egoic nature, it is their sense of worth and value is all based on what they think, anyway, of how they think other people perceive them is very important to them. But see, shadowy energy is like not seeing things clearly and kind of living in fantasy land and illusion. Other people could really view them as a complete idiot, but they don't see it that way. No, if I do this and I do that, and then I have these things, and if I wear this and they wear that, and blah, 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 we'll look like we're this really victorious people in the world. And some people are like, do you guys even love each other? None of us would want to stay in a relationship with people where, it's not based on love. What kind of life is that? Like Corinthians 13 or something Bible verse, if you have all these things but you don't have love, it's like a resounding gong. Bong. In a house, in a home, in a workplace, in a relationship, just hollow. Nothing there. That's what shadowy energy is about, is all this superficiality to make it look and appear a certain way. It's love that gives life to things and gives life to new things. And some people are like, oh no, I don't want to do love though. I could get hurt. So, I just want to create this illusion that everything is wonderful. Is the person I'm maybe thinking of getting in a relationship with, do they also let their shadow nature run their life? High vibe Leo is what they're imprisoning. I don't want to be in relationships with people who are loving and warm and who love and believe in themselves, who are authentically themselves in the world, because I'm not authentically myself in the world. I'm all up in my fear and my insecurity of being officially myself in the world. It's all about creating this illusion about who I am, because then I can't get hurt, because then even if people reject me, they're not really rejecting the authentic me, because I keep the authentic me locked up. I let my false persona live my life, my cardboard cutout self. And it's kind of like, do they keep that nature within themselves imprisoned too? They don't take creative, inspired action in their life to get out of their ego, do they? I don't want to move forward with anybody like that, because then they'll want me to do that, and they'll want me to exchange this way of living life to live life like that. And I think that's the danger zone. Tell us what their Six of Pentacles is about. For some people, just like they rejected their loving nature and said, nope, not doing that. I'm going to indulge my more immature worldly nature. Either indulging myself in the world, indulging myself in my ego. It has to be all about me, or I'm just going to make my life all about money and materialism. Some of those people then also, when they reject that within themselves, they reject the loving people in their life, and they could have went to go get in a relationship with someone, and it's always fearful that that person they go get in a relationship with, are they going to love and believe in themselves? Are they going to be okay repeating this old pattern? Maybe being emotionally shallow and superficial and just staying in a relationship out of fear or codependency or whatever? Unexpected income, the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles describing like the Six of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Seven of Wands, Leo energy again. They're harnessing shadowy Leo energy. They want to be in a more transactional relationship because they're defensive about equal give and take in a relationship. Sometimes people who are shadowy, they don't trust other people. And so then they want to control everything. And it is like, if I feel like I can control everything, then I won't get hurt. But then they can become very controlling people in a relationship. And it's kind of like they almost want to imprison their partners, because I'm so afraid that, you might love and believe in yourself. And then if you loved and believed in yourself, then other people might want to be in a relationship with you. Or even if you're a loving person, I'm always afraid other people should, of course, want to be in a relationship with you because I know what a loving person you are. But instead of doing work within myself to get balance within myself and appreciate myself and know my own worth and value so I don't become overbearing and controlling in this relationship, well, that's an option. But instead, I think I'll just try to control you and really keep a tight hold on you. And eventually people in their relationship feel like they're being imprisoned. And eventually the high vibe people in their life stand up for themselves. And it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Why are you in this relationship? I'm kind of getting that you want me to stay in it because of your ego and your image. But are you even in this because you love me? Why did you get in this? If it's not moving forward in hope and faith and belief and love, why are we in it? Well, let's go look at the King of Swords card up in the top row. How different people can handle that energy. Because the top row is high vibe energy, but people in high vibe energy deal with people who are in shadowy energy. And that's why, we're going to look at it from both ways. The King of Pentacles in reverse and the Devil. So, I view the Devil, well, I think everybody views the Devil card as Capricorn energy. And I view the King of Pentacles also as Capricorn energy. But in high vibe, the Capricorn King of Pentacles is people who've learned lessons in life. They grew and matured themselves. They got out of some of their fears and insecurities. They dealt with some of their past pain and heartbreak. They've gotten out of their more me, self-centered nature. And they freed themselves from the devil. And the high vibe people have seen the truth that there's more to life than just money and materialism and status and image. Because if you make your life all about those things, it eventually enslaves and imprisons you. And you'll stay in jobs and friendships and relationships that are toxic and that you should get out of. And the high vibe people saw the truth of that they were dealing with people who had not grown and matured themselves, who have a lot of things that got a tight hold on them. And the other people said, I'm not going to let these things imprison me. And those things seem to be attached to you. And if those things are things that you're not willing to let go of, then I have to let go of you. And I can't stay at this job, or I can't marry you, or if I was married to you, I got to get out of this marriage. And the other people are exactly the opposite. They don't want to be in a relationship with people who grow and mature and heal themselves and free themselves from their more worldly, prideful nature, because that's what they align with. It isn't about growing and maturing themselves. It isn't about healing from their past pain and heartbreak. Let's get in a relationship. Let's put in work and effort to have status and image and money and materialism, or indulge in our other addictions, whatever those may be. And you stay in that energy too. That's perfect. How about you be loving and hopeful and believing, and I'll be like a devil in your life who wants to steal from you. But I don't want to have to grow up and mature myself. Or, yeah, basically, I don't want to have to grow up and mature myself. I might not want to be in a stable long-term commitment. I just want to indulge myself in this relationship. And even if I am married to you, I still don't want to have to grow up and mature myself. I have the world and the things of the world is what drives me. And I want to be in a relationship with people who are loving and warm. It's good for my status and my image. You keep working with me. And when you finally realize I'm not in it for love, you might be sad, but oh well. Are you going to stay in it anyway? It works for me if you do. And some of the people said no. Tell us about the despair card. Queen of Pentacles, Chariot, because of the trumpet. High vibe people held themselves and other people accountable. And they said, in the Queen of Pentacles, I'm going to emotionally grow and mature myself. There's been things about this relationship that I have not liked that have made me feel oppressed and limited and confined and restricted. And if it's not another person, it's our own shadow nature. I'm not going to keep indulging in these thoughts and emotions or ways of behaving or things that I think are the answer, because I keep finding out they're not the answer. And this isn't working the way I thought. So I need to see the truth. I need to invest in loving myself and getting in the driver's seat of my life from a foundation of love, because the Chariot card is Cancer energy, about love and home and family and stuff. I need to love me. I need to take the reins of my dualistic nature and quit indulging in my fears or my insecurities. Whichever dog we feed gets bigger. I have free will. I am choosing to align with love and hope and faith and belief. I'm going to offer love and compassion and forgiveness to myself for the mistakes I've made. I'm going to offer love and compassion and forgiveness to the people in my past so I can let that go and heal. And I don't want to repeat these type of ways of behavior within myself. And I also don't want to then get in relationships with people who are happy that I am, because they never wanted me to become all I could be anyway, probably because they're not doing the work within themselves to heal and grow and mature, and then I'll keep hanging out with them or be in a relationship with them. And I've done it, been there, done that, learned the lesson I was meant to learn. This isn't working out the way I thought. It's stealing my dreams from me, and I don't want to do that anymore. So they either just tell their own shadow nature, I'm standing up for myself. If they're in workplaces and relationships with people who they think are kind of trying to manipulate them, they're standing up to those people too. And they want to be in relationships and workplaces and marriage partnerships with people who have also done the same work. People who aren't trying to manipulate them, aren't trying to control them, aren't trying to put them in their defensive nature, their egoic nature, their pride, their ego, their competitive, jealous, envious nature. People who love you shouldn't do that to you. People who really love you won't want you to feel that way. They wouldn't do things to try to make you feel like you got to compete for them, or you got to fight for them, or you got to whatever. That's somebody kind of playing childish games. Some people like to be chased. Some people are very prideful, very egotistical, very bossy and controlling. And sometimes because we love people, we weren't wanting to see the truth. And tell us about the Thief card. I'm kind of thinking, sometimes something will happen that makes us kind of really see the truth. 7 of Cups, because of the Six of Swords, kind of just seeing through the illusion that, we also can cast our good traits and characteristics onto other people, because I think we tend to view people that we might get in friendships and relationships with, that we have some type of connection where, things kind of take off. We tend to think that they might be a lot more like us than they are. And eventually we kind of see through the illusion and we see the truth that your idea of how you thought the dream life or workplace or relationship of how you envisioned it moving forward is really completely different than my idea of the dream job, dream friendship, dream relationship. And you might think it's about you being able to repeat these old patterns, and that I would just keep constantly trying to keep investing in trying to encourage you to free yourself. And even in the face of it, when you keep showing me that you are not willing to do that work to free yourself, and I'm just supposed to keep indulging you in your poor behavior, and people are like, my dream's never going to come into reality that way. So I have to see the truth. They're either not motivated and inspired to free themselves from the things that manipulate them, which could be things from their childhood, past pain and heartbreak. It could be people that they've known since childhood. It could be friends. It could be original family group. High vibe energy is about becoming independent, knowing how to fill your own cup, feeling stable and grounded within yourself, wanting and standing up for yourself that I am my own independent person and I should be respected as being my own independent person. But we can have people in our life or original family group that's like, no, I should always be able to be in control of you. And I am defensive of you getting balanced within yourself and thinking you should be more independent and live your own life. Well, why aren't people standing up for themselves? Probably, I don't know, might have emotional confusion. They all might have a philosophy of way of viewing life or relationships. It could be much more ego-based than love-based. And some of them haven't seen through the illusion. They don't even see maybe how these things or these people manipulate them. And until they do, they're going to keep repeating this pattern. And that's kind of the truth of what we need to see. If people haven't seen the truth, and if people aren't taking action in truth, they could not see it, or they want to be in denial of it. So what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Libra energy that they might not see coming up? Just 2 or 3 cards is good, not 8. Some people could have left one relationship to go get in a different relationship, thinking for sure that was going to be the answer to their problems and thought they were going to have a victory worth defending. But the person they could have went and gotten in a relationship with maybe was just acting out of their pride and ego. I just wanted you to leave that relationship and indulge me in a relationship. I was kind of in my ego. It looked like everything was going really great for you and those people. I wanted you to reject those people. I kind of felt in prison. I didn't feel like my life was going in that direction. So I could have sent you a message that I wanted to work with you, so you would maybe give up working there or viewing those people as a marriage partner or staying in a marriage with those people, because I wanted what you had, and I wanted you to reject those people. And I did maybe kind of think you were kind of in your pride and ego and maybe a little bit more materialistically focused than those people maybe realized. And then when they did go get in that relationship thinking, someone who's on the same page as me, that person could have become defensive to them and wasn't willing to exchange resources with them the way they thought. Either just because, we might be motivated and inspired by the same things in life, we've kind of got to be on the same page. Well, what lessons have you learned, and what things, what are your patterns? These are my patterns. These are yours. Well, what if one person kind of doesn't like how one person likes to do something, and they'd kind of like them to kind of get out of their ego about that and maybe be willing to admit that maybe they have some lessons learned? Oh my gosh. If you have two prideful, egotistical people who don't think they have any lessons to learn in life and they're God's gift, yeah, that can cause a real big problem. So that could have been a problem. You know, you can see people, you kind of got the same philosophy of life, you view things a lot of the ways the same. But if both people aren't very loving or nurturing, that could have even been a problem. Oh, I saw you in that other relationship. I thought you were more loving and nurturing than you are, but you kind of have this way of being that's kind of a little more emotionally shallow and superficial. You kind of, aren't very creative and inspiring and everything. And then we could have two boring people in a relationship because nobody connects in with their more emotionally helpful, believing inner child nature. And they're both all about the world and all about ego and image. It's like, wow, no spark of life here because neither one of us tap into it. And so someone could have been defensive to moving forward in that relationship. What's coming up for the high vibe people? The Two of Swords, because of the Page of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Well, needless, when we get out of something, it does take time because we are these emotionally complex human beings. It does take time for us to heal from that relationship, even if we thought somebody was this awful, icky, blah, blah, blah. That's different if it's like a workplace. You can get over that pretty quick. But if it was a romantic relationship, it's hard. But so people might go through a little period of feeling stuck and kind of emotionally confused. And then from the 2 to the 6 is the 4. It takes time to heal. And while we're in that process, there is a part of us that still, has love for some of the people that we've left behind. And we have to keep working through that emotional confusion, and love, again, helps us heal. We wish those people peace, but we offer our own foundation, love, to keep working through the emotional confusion of it and to keep moving forward in truth and love so that we don't take action more out of fear, insecurity, or codependency and get caught back up in the emotional confusion. It's like, nope, I'm going to keep moving forward in truth and love, keep maintaining my balance, keep loving myself, to keep myself free from my own shadow nature, and I'm going to listen to my intuition. Another thing that you could do that you might not see coming is that you might listen to your intuition about people in your life who you think might have gotten themselves caught up in something similar to you, that you offer them. The Page of Cups can be just, like a friendly gesture of like love and encouragement to people. If you owed anybody an apology, for any hurt you might have caused someone when you were learning your lessons, I think you'd make an offer of apology to people and, tell them how the lessons that you've learned and some life experiences you've went through and how you freed yourself from some of those things, and how now you're kind of seeing through all the things that had manipulated you, and that you're moving forward in hope and faith and belief in your dreams, and, basically reaching out to people and like, who wants to come with me? I'm not going to let people who are unjust, unfair, unloving, or whatever in my past rob me of my dreams. I still have my dreams, and I'm going to keep taking action to work through the emotional confusion and illusion, to keep moving forward in the energy of love. Who wants to come with? And another thing you might not see coming is some other people in the world. There's probably 50-50 in the world at any given moment in time. There's going to be other people in the world who listen to their intuition and hope and faith and belief in their dreams instead of fear and insecurity and pride and ego. And those people are going to also reach out and make offers to you because they're intuitive that you have done this work and they think you're someone that they could move forward with and have their dreams come into reality. And you just have to listen to your intuition because we live in a world of duality. You're probably going to be given choice. Which people are people who really have emotionally grown and matured themselves and have gotten in the driver's seat of their life, and who have freed themselves from their more worldly view of life, and who are the people who might want to be the next person to be in a relationship with you, but they're just the next person who wants to steal from you. And what they don't know about you is that you listen to your intuition, and they might try to tempt you in creating this illusion and emotionally confuse you about the truth and make it seem like your dreams can come into reality with them, maybe tempting you with things of the world and appeal to your ego and stuff like that. And I think you're just going to listen to your intuition and call judgment on the people like that. And it's like, I wish you peace, but that's not how I want to move forward in life anymore. Where like you might be a person who has status or stability or money, and I'm like the loving person. I've already done that before, and it doesn't really work out. I want other people who are loving. And I'm sure I can manifest my dreams into reality because the divine is the one who figures out how to make our unique talent, skills, and interests make money. We probably have some of our own talent, skills, and interests that we can already be using to have stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life. But I don't need it all because I've already learned those things don't make me happy. I just need enough to be okay. And I'm trusting the divine for that. So, what is coming up for the people in shadowy energy that they might not see coming? Well, for one, they didn't expect other people to temper their more worldly, beastly, prideful nature to go on a new journey and learn lessons in life because they never do. So they didn't see that coming. And some of those people could be really sad because you are listening to your intuition now and you have freed yourself. And they're still imprisoned by their ego because they keep investing in their ego. They might see that they're repeating a past pattern. They keep their more loving, hopeful, believing, authentic nature imprisoned. And then people that they also tried to get to imprison that within themselves, those people freed themselves. They might be getting in a new relationship again out of ego, and someone might want to be in a new relationship with them, but maybe because of ego, because of my fear, because of my insecurity, because of my defensiveness, because I want to be in a relationship. I think it says something about my status or my image or something, and I want to be in a relationship with someone, so I'll exchange resources with you and we'll look like we're moving forward victoriously. But it might be someone else who also isn't very loving and warm and creative and inspired, who also might be operating from defensiveness. And everybody's got free will. If that's what makes them feel stable and secure within themselves and not disrupting their life and throwing them out into chaos, because we can't move forward in life until we're ready. It'd be like somebody trying to throw you out on a stage to perform something when you're not ready to do that, And we all have our lessons to learn. And the whole thing is, some people have learned more lessons than some other people. And this, is probably the right relationship for them right now and how to keep living their life and they'll keep repeating this pattern until they finally see the truth. And they start to see how it keeps them from living their more authentic life. Because high vibe energy is about being free, and they keep their more creative, inspired, hopeful, believing, loving, warm nature hidden away. Well, how great of life is that to live? Kind of barren, I would think. So there you go, Libra energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.